Greetings, I am Rudimentary Rob once again. Welcome back to my Valheim series. This is episode 4 of season 1, and I'm on a bit of a mission this time. We're going to resume our quest to kill the first boss. Well, structures haven't been particularly rare on this map, but from that buzzing noise, beehives certainly have been. So this is the first one I've actually managed to detect in my explorations. So I thought I'd better stop off and pick this one up. Now, this next bit, I didn't fail hard on this intentionally, but as it turned out, I'm going to dedicate this bit to Oladino in special recognition of all of the fun she had trying to jump up on a roof. Turns out, failure to jump roofs is pretty universal, and it doesn't really matter how much of a noob you are. The physics of it is going to affect everyone. So, shout out Oladino, check out her channel if you haven't already done so. On my journeys this episode, because I've only got fire arrows on me, and fire arrows are, we'll say, slightly on the expensive side material-wise at this point in the game, I'm trying to conserve them, other than the two that I used on the beehive, which was a bit of a necessity. I'm not, or at least I'm trying not to use them to deal with the local wildlife. Alright, welcome to the summoning, I guess you could say, altar of Eikthyr. And as this little hint says, to get the trophies you have to hunt his kin. Well, Eikthyr is a deer in the elk kind of variety. I'm sure, you know, if you invited Eikthyr out for a drink, I'm sure they would be a deer in a different context, but we don't have the opportunity to take Eikthyr out for a drink, so we've got to settle for the universal game objective of summoning them and trying to, you know, delete their existence. Now, there is a method which I don't really classify as cheesing, because you're just using the terrain to your advantage, but it involves chopping down a bunch of trees around in the immediate vicinity of the shrine. You will see why that's kind of a fairly good idea, and at the same time you've got to be a bit careful with it as well, because the mob intelligence doesn't like it if you get a bit too exploity, and it will often run away and try and get out of range of your bow if it can't path to you directly. So just be a bit aware of that. Other than that, if you've got plenty of gaps between the trees, you know, it gives you the opportunity to jump over trees to get clear of, you know, if you think you're about to die or you need time to rest up a bit, jumping to the other side of a log can force, you know, the monster to run the long way around to get to you, and that gives you a bit of time to recover. I'm not going to spoil what actually happens in the fight. You're just going to have to sit through all of this and wait for the outcome yourself. In the meantime, here's some more absolutely gorgeous Valheim scenery, including a sunrise. Now, to say that I am more than a little bit rusty when it comes to the first boss fight would be the understatement of the century, in the sense of knowing or understanding exactly how difficult it is. A lot of that is being kind of tainted based on most of the time I've actually been playing with a friend, and the difficulty of all of the mobs, including the bosses, gets ramped up based on how many people are joining you in the game. So I honestly can't even remember if I've ever soloed Eikthyr, but at this point my expectations were, well, a little bit on the high side relative to what the fight ended up being. Given my luck and issues to date with this game so far, I thought I would err on the side of caution and make myself a little shelter here to have a respawn point if things, happen to go south. Certainly, I would encourage you to do this sort of thing with any of the boss fights, to be honest. Sometimes luck is not necessarily on your side, and maybe you're tired, like I definitely was at about this point in my game session, and you're not doing your best to concentrate, and sometimes Murphy can step in a bit as well. So it doesn't hurt to have a backup plan. If you've got a structure nearby that's decent, then just repair that, obviously. I had so much timber on me from chopping the trees down and chopping the bushes down. I just thought, nah, what the hell, I'm just going to build an entire structure. As it turned out, I had exactly not quite enough wood, as is seemingly the theme in this game so far, to make everything, including my bed. So I had to go out and grab a little bit more wood for that. And good morning at the shrine. We are here complete with a spooky mist and an irritating grayling. Graylings just have a habit of showing up and being annoying. Honestly, if there was any of the mobs that could be tagged as just no longer aggroing after you get to a certain point, Graylings should probably be one of those, but here we go. It only took 2 trophies to summon Eikthyr, and I intend to do this Eikthyr fight the way I generally do, which is with whatever bow I happen to have. So this is a fully upgraded crude bow and fire arrows. And as you can see, Eikthyr is not making a dead run to me. Eikthyr is running around the semicircle of downed trees I have to try and get to me this way. And it gives me a decent amount of time to get around. Now, Eikthyr does have 2 attacks. The lightning attack, which has quite a lot of knockback attached to it. But as you can see from my health, it actually didn't hit very hard at all. And the other attack is just a straight up melee attack. You'll see some of those a little bit later. As you can see, Eikthyr health is going down in quite a meaningful way based on you know, when I do actually manage to hit them with my bow, we're probably barely a minute into the fight and I've already taken off about a third of Eichthier's health. This section of the fight I'm going to refer to as rudimentary Rob's rudimentary efforts to not hit the broadside of a barn from 3 feet away. Here I'm going to illustrate why it's good to get rid of the local trees, because they do tend to mess with your view quite a lot when you're trying to get those really awesome bow shots off. Yep, and here's Eichthier attempting to make it personal, taking their stress out on my newly constructed shelter, but it's got enough health to deal with a couple of attacks. I'm not that concerned about it. And here's our friendly neighbourhood super annoying grayling back to just interrupt me for 5 seconds. Because Eichthier is so low, and because, you know, there was that diss against my structure, I decided to get up close and personal and take down the remaining health with my dagger. Well, you know, one thing leads to another. I realised I still had trophies left, and I wanted to try a more hands-on approach to killing Eichthier. And my chosen method of violence was going to be my beloved dagger. So keep watching for the unadulterated excitement. And wow, alright, maybe I'm playing this one up a bit too much. It did turn out to be a little bit more straightforward than I was expecting. Well, up close, Eichthier looks like they escaped from some kind of rave, and based on how much glowing red eye action is going on, there may or may not have been some illicit substances involved with that particular rave. Long story short, kids, don't do drugs. Anyway, with that out of the way, the rest of the fight was pretty pedestrian. Alright, and a predictable conclusion there. Eikthyr, yeah, if you want to do the bow method, that works well with fire arrows. If you don't want to, and your armor is decently upgraded like mine, I mean, I didn't even equip my shield. I was just stabbing Eikthyr in the face with my dagger, and that worked quite adequately. So either approach is going to serve you reasonably well with that first boss. With the boss out of the way, I wanted to make my way to the sacrificial stones so I could mount the trophy. And that's when I stumbled across this little fella. Now that looks like any other piece of a landmass, but in actuality it isn't. It's a gigantic turtle thing, and we're going to be revisiting that fellow a bit later after we've had a few more upgrades. I'm also, in my journeying and exploring, I'm just making a mental note of, you know, what other land masses are nearby, and if they're all, you know, meadows as well, or if there might be other biomes involved. To this point, it's pretty much only meadows. Now, once I've arrived back at the stone, it gives you the option of mounting the trophy, and also activating the Eikthyr talent, which you can see down the bottom left hand corner next to my health. And it indicates it's ready. It's a shout. I believe the default key is F, but I've rebound mine to E, which is why I'm pausing here for a moment, because I'd forgotten that I'd done that. Once you activate that, it's a buff. It lasts for 5 minutes, and during that time, running and jumping use only a small fraction of the normal stamina. So if you watch how slowly my stamina bar goes down when I go for a really long sprint, you can see how beneficial it can be in covering long distances with, you know, as fewer stops as possible. It appears to be my lucky day, give or take the need to kill another greyling. But from an earlier episode, you remember seeing these little lean-to things before. I'm actually stopping to bust these to get some more core wood, because this is the only way I can collect core wood, at least for now. I'm hoping to have that corrected soon. But in order to, you know, collect and then smelt the metals, I'm going to need more of the Surtling cores, and at the moment I have a chronic shortage of them. So, but this core wood, I want this. I believe this should now give me enough that I'll be able to make the fine wood bow, and the fine wood bow is a very decent upgrade over my current crude bow, at least as far as longer distance accuracy goes. Okay, that tall pine tree that I can see across the way, that's a dead ringer for the deeper parts of dark forest. You don't usually see them around the edges. You can, but more typically you get the other one, the fir trees. And the fir trees don't give you core wood, it's the pine trees that do. So that's good that I've seen that over there. That may come in handy at a later date. Okay, this is me exploring into the opposite side of that very small black forest area that I probed, in the first 2 or 3 episodes. That's where the dungeon was, and I did die a few times. Oh, look. In other news, apparently the game decided I haven't destroyed enough pigs yet and has given me, what is there, 7 or 8 pigs in one location. I don't think I've ever seen that many before. Never one to turn down the opportunity to get some more meat and some more boar leather. Given there is this many pigs, it means there's a chance that they'll all end up respawning at some stage. That's why I've marked the map. And in tradition for this map at least, there's another broken tower, except based on the fact that I just heard the skeleton noise, this one spawns skeletons rather than grey dwarves, which is good news. It means I've got somewhere I can come back to regularly to get more bone fragments if I need them. And you can see just how many hits a piercing weapon takes to kill them. So I'm going to take an opportunity here in a moment and make just a club, just because it kills them slightly more efficiently. This tower is going to be pretty easy to clear because it's only a sword and shield skeleton at the top. Gets a bit more annoying when it's an archer skeleton. You're just getting plinked as you close in on the tower, but this guy just stands there patiently and waits to die. I actually enjoy mobs that want to hang around and wait for me to stick a club between their eyes. For the more astute viewers who have probably already been shouting at the screen for the last minute, you would have noticed that my food is completely worn off. I am now standing in a forest and it's about to go nighttime. That's not a very good combination, because at night, particularly in the Black Forest, that saying from the aliens is equally true here. They mostly come at night. Mostly. But the problem is, when it's night time, if you've already let your health get low, it regenerates very slowly when you get cold. So it's better to eat while it's warm, because you'll get up to full health a bit quicker. Now, the other thing, and I've just spotted a troll and I still haven't eaten anything. Now, if you didn't spot the troll, I don't blame you. They are quite hard to see in that light. It's big, it grumbles, and it's probably a third of the height of that pine tree in front of me, possibly a bit taller. Not really in the best gear to be taking on a troll. I did contemplate like climbing that tower and sort of plinking the troll and, trying to shoot him that way. I don't know that I'd have enough arrows to do that, but when I walked back to the tower, I didn't have line of sight. Yeah, I've just circled a bit on the map where the troll is. Better to, when in doubt, leave them alone, because you can get in a lot of trouble if you're not careful. Alright, I'm still keen on a bit of exploring, but it is night time, and due to all of the previously listed issues, I'm not going to be pushing into the Black Forest. I'm just going to sort of circle around the edge of it and just see if there's anything else of interest there before I turn around and head back to base. Given how full my bag is at the moment, even if there was something there, I seriously doubt I would have been in a position to pick up most of it anyway, so we're all good. We have a couple of grey dwarves to cross our paths. Fire arrows are quite effective on these guys, but they have so little health that stabbing them to death with a dagger is, you know, pretty easy prospect. Honestly, they go down almost as quickly as a skeleton, to be honest. I'm furiously trying to make room in my bag for the Grey Dwarf eyes. They are an important component in a few things. The most pressing one at this stage is we need quite a few of them as part of building any portals. And for the moment, any of them that I come across I'm going to be keeping purely for that task. Because it's, I think from memory, it's 10 Grey Dwarf eyes per portal, and of course portals are never good if there's only one of them. You need a pair of them, so for every set of portals you need 20 Grey Dwarf eyes. Yeah. Anyway, this is me at the end of my session, taking care of a few bits of unfinished business, otherwise known as annoying graylings. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe, and if you want to be notified about any future video releases, feel free to hit the notification button. This has been Rudimentary Rob. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.